Oh, God. Bearded white guy with glasses. You know. All right. Sure. Let's do it.
Today on the Matt Walsh Show, a new online trend has some people declaring themselves super straight. The left has condemned it as transphobic, but then again, they condemn everything as transphobic.
Wasn't the original super... Hold on. Wasn't the original super straight TikTok explicitly transphobic? Hold on. I think I... Hold on.
Yo guys, I made a new sexuality now, actually. It's called super straight. Okay.
2 million likes. Jesus.
Okay. Since straight people or straight men as myself, I get called transphobic because I wouldn't date a trans woman. You know, they're like, would you date a trans woman? I'm like, no, why? That's a female. No, like, that's not a real woman to me. Like, I want real woman. No, you're just transphobic. So now...
saying a trans woman isn't a real woman is, I mean, pretty much as close as you can get to the explicit definition of transphobia. So I don't know why not just cop to the fact that you're transphobic? Why cry and be like, the left will call anything transphobic? Like, yeah, okay, just own it. Just be like, yeah, I'm a transphobe. Like, take the Chad position. Just own the fact that you're, like, a bigot. Why? Vaush, why are we talking about it? You're literally just falling for the bait. Yeah, initially I thought that the super straight thing was just a bait, but if it's getting 2 million likes on TikTok and it's being covered by, like, political representatives, I don't know if it's just bait anymore. I think it's just the newest line of transphobic, I don't know, argumentation. So, yeah, gotta push back. Woo.
Also, 5 headlines, including BLM protesters fighting against racism by harassing little girls on their way to a cheerleading competition.
What?
Minneapolis.
Oh, this is, sorry, this is the whole segment, so let's skip ahead to the...
Now, in recent days, a new trend online has provoked increasing concern from the left and the media. The trend is called super straight. This is a new sexual orientation, hot off the presses, though not really new at all, invented by a TikTok user in a...
So, can we do a sincerity check really, really quick, okay? None of these people think that super straight is a thing. The whole super straight narrative serves two purposes. First of all, why is the quality shit? It's Facebook. First of all, the kinds of people who would call themselves super straight think that being straight means you're not attracted to trans women to begin with. So, to be clear, if you're a transphobe, and if you don't think that trans women are women, which as we see, the originator of this term does not think trans women are women, then by your definition, being straight would be all you would need to explain that you're not attracted to trans women, because from their perspective, trans women aren't women. So this starts off pretty disingenuous, like as if it couldn't be more obvious by them being like, we just invented a new gender, sexuality, respect us, etc., etc. But I also want to say, again, like to be perfectly clear, if you're not attracted to like most trans people, like because you have a genital preference or whatever, that's fine. The issue here isn't that you're not attracted to trans people. Gonna be real with you, trans men and women don't want you as their partners anyway. Like, look, if you're out on TikTok screeching about how you identify as a super straight attack helicopter, they probably don't want to fuck you anyway. Fine, it's okay. The issue here isn't that. The issue is that you're saying they're not women or not men or whatever. Again, if that's your position, cop up to it. But this whole super straight shit, I mean, it's kind of the modus operandi for the right? They did the exact same thing with milk, which didn't take off very much, but they also did it with the OK symbol. Remember? That also came from 4chan, and it was just a meme, just a joke, and real Nazis started using it. And conservatives will still deny there's any association between that term and actual far-right people, you know? Very disingenuous, very cowardly, I would say. Very feminine, Matt Walsh.
Video that has since been removed. I'm not sure if he removed it himself or TikTok took it down as hate speech. Certainly the left has declared the video hate speech. An article posted to Yahoo bears the headline, "A social media trend has people identifying as super straight. The transphobic campaign was meant to divide LGBTQ people." And Pink News declares transphobic...
So that's also true, by the way. The splitting down the line thing, Candace Owens recently tweeted about this. I would look the tweet up if I had any care in the world to do my job properly. Candace Owens was saying something like, I don't know why LGBs don't just drop the T. They're clearly the vanguard of all the crazy stuff, that sort of thing, which is really disingenuous for two reasons. First of all, you want a united front, okay? You cut off the T, next you're cutting off the B, and then L and G goes as well. United front, always with social movements, united front. You never ever throw people under the bus. They did that in Stonewall and it fucked over all of them. They all got fucked over, okay? United front. They take all of you or they take none of you. You start piecing off people and eventually you'll get pieced off too. Secondly, the Republican Party's official stance is also homophobic. The Republican Party still is anti-gay marriage. You can see it. It's part of the policy positions in like every state Republican office. You can see it very plainly there. So the idea that like, oh, it's just the transes that are crazy. You LGBs would be so fine if it weren't for that. No. 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 No, 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 no. They're trying to do divide and conquer right there. And they'll win if you follow them. Because after we give up the fight for trans rights, they're going to give up the fight for gay rights too. And after you give up the fight for gay right, you get rid of gay marriage, and after that it's civil unions, and all this stuff can be rolled back. You don't let that ball start rolling down the hill. You keep pushing, always. And keep in mind, by pushing that ball upwards, we're not talking about like forcing all straight men to fuck all trans, but whatever the fuck these people jerk off to, imagining, you know. We're just talking about get them gender affirming care, don't treat them like shit, don't kill them. Don't be super mean to them for being trans. That's about it, you know. Protected classes, the basic gist. Wouldn't affect your life in any way, by the way. Not even slightly.
Trend super straight has links to the far right and neo-Nazis.
True.
Of course, because everything does.
That is also true. Again, he keeps dismissing these things like, oh, the left always says that, when they do, because they are correct. So, as I understand it, the original super straight video was not a 4chan op, but it immediately got picked up by 4chan. And since then, they did exactly what they did with Gamergate, which is where they see a spark and they jump in. Now, this is just one post, of course, but there have been an anomalous number of far-right people shit posting super straight stuff all over Twitter. I've seen it all over Twitter. I've seen it all over the place. Have you guys seen it too? I don't have any like data on this, but I've definitely seen it around. And you can tell, by the way, that it's psyop posting because the people who are posting super straight stuff are almost always also being far right in other ways. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen super straight shit being posted by neo-Nazis, or when it's being posted by rando accounts, I like look at their feed and it's like Western traditionalist anti-Semitism or whatever. Oh yeah, here's that Candace Owens tweet. I don't know, I can't see the Rubin Report thing because I'm blocked, like everyone else is. Interesting. I always thought the LGB should demand a breakup from the T. Gender dysphoria has nothing to do with sexual preference. Gay, lesbian, and bisexual individuals have never infringed upon the rights of women. By the way, notice how all these conservatives suddenly care about the rights of women when they openly and aggressively trample on them at every other possible opportunity. But then when it comes to trans people, gotta protect the rights of women. Just super disingenuous stuff. But Candace Owens genuinely doesn't believe anything. I really don't think she believes anything.
Website Distractify says social media users explain how super straight is transphobia, not a sexuality. Then the article comes with a warning for those who didn't get the message from the headline that, quote, transphobic statements are ahead.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I guess we should probably watch the video. So let's watch the video.
Well, I just gotta give the video. Okay.
Yo guys, I made a new sexuality now, actually. It's called super straight.
It's your boy, Skinny
Since
M.
Straight people or straight men as myself,
Skinny
I get
mustache.
called transphobic because I wouldn't date a trans woman. You know, they're like, would you date a trans woman? I'm like, no, why? That's a female. No, like, that's not a real woman to me. Like, I want a real woman. No, you're just transphobic. So now, I'm super straight. I only date the opposite gender, women, that are born women. So you can't say I'm transphobic now because that's just my sexuality.
This really just is the attack helicopter meme. like time is a flat circle. I don't know how they haven't gotten a new joke by then. It really is the attack helicopter meme. It's the exact same thing. We can identify as anything we want, so I identify as a not transphobic transphobe. I'm not transphobic. I just don't think trans women are women. Now you can't hate me. Like, it's the same. It's always the same joke. 2 million likes for that joke, too.
You know?
Pretty edgy stuff. So the guy in the video...
I wouldn't even say it's edgy, because it's not really funny. It's just bigoted. I mean, if you like the bigotry, then you're getting it, but it's not even edgy. Like, it doesn't even meet the necessary tongue-in-cheek lightheartedness necessary for something to be called edgy.
Which that Yahoo article mentioned earlier calls a hate and disinformation campaign. That's what they said about that video. It's a hate and disinformation campaign.
Nope. I know what he's referring to. They did not refer to that video as the campaign. They referred to the campaign as the campaign, as evidenced by the fact that they used the word campaign in their article headline. Not just the video, the campaign, which you are a part of, Matt Walsh.
But he's really just making the point that he's attracted to females, which means he's not attracted to males, even males who identify as female.
See, that's where we're getting at right now.
The reason for this, by the way, is that generally speaking, a human being is sexually attracted to another human being based on who that other human being is, not based on what perception the other human has of themselves.
Right. So this would only be a valid point if you believe that all trans women looked like me and their transness was relegated entirely as an internal process. Trans women, now you could be a trans woman and look like me. That's okay. That's fine. Not here to shit in your cereal, but generally speaking, trans women, they gussy up a little bit, and gotta say, met a lot of trans women in my life. A lot of them you wouldn't even know unless you told them. Actually, the very first trans person I ever met in my life was passed so hard that I was discussing trans issues with her for weeks before she told me, assuming I had already known that she was trans. It was in my German class back in Santa Monica Community College. And I was never good at those foreign language classes. Anyway, it was just a friend in class, and she was nice to talk to, and I barely paid attention in class. So we would talk, and I was a progressive then. So this was back in, 2012? Oh, that's right. I was for trans rights before you even knew trans was a thing. That's a joke. Don't hate me. Anyway, talk about various social issues, and that came up. And, I was pushing for, because, back then I was a little cringier. So I was like, yeah, trans women are women, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, we talked for quite a while. And eventually, one class, maybe weeks after this came up, she was like, you know I'm trans, right? And instantly I thought, oh, God, she thinks the only reason I've been talking about this with her is to virtue signal because I noticed she was trans. I didn't notice she was trans at all. Not even slightly. She was actually an underwear model, if you can believe it. Honest to God, trans underwear model. And you know what? None of the shit that she put out was trans underwear model. Just underwear model. Yeah. Can't even in underwear. Not just... Is the mouthfeel thing real? I didn't fuck her. She's a classmate. But anyway, yeah. So, not even like trans underwear model, but like the whole, yeah. And anyway, no, just look, if you're a cis guy, and she was very attractive, by the way. I mean, sorry, I don't know if I nailed it with the underwear model thing, but really, but anyway, if you're a cis guy, cis straight guy, whatever, and there's a trans woman and you're not that attracted to her, that's okay. All right. Just nobody's coming after you for that. Okay. Can be for any number of reasons. Maybe they're just not attractive to you. Maybe they're very attractive to you, but you don't like dick if they have a dick, which not all of them do. That's fine. Okay, it's fine. Gonna be honest with you, most trans women don't have trouble getting laid as long as they're not so socially awkward they can't leave the house. Past a certain point in transition, at least. Usually they're entirely capable of getting along on their own, and your unwillingness to fuck them is really not a giant impediment to them. The problem is when you keep saying they're not women, That's really the issue here. And you conflate those two problems too. You're like, the trans lobby is trying to force us to fuck trans women. Nope, nobody's trying to force you to fuck trans women. We're trying to implore you to treat them like women. You don't have to fuck them. You don't have to be attracted to them. That's fine. They're all fucking each other anyway. Whatever. Like, but they constantly conflate. Look, if there was a real lobby of like a really powerful social movement, like to force straight men to fuck trans women, I don't know, that seems a little bit fucking weird to me, not gonna lie, but that thing ain't happening. It's not. It's usually relegated to like a small community of incredibly cringy 14-year-olds on Twitter, all right? And these people are not writing policy for the US government, okay? They're a little while away from being able to run for president. I wouldn't worry too much, okay? Jesus. Most of it is just about treating trans people properly. So, yeah. Now, if you don't want to do that, and then I would consider you bigoted, and that's what Matt Walsh is, and that's fine. But if it's just because you don't want to feel forced to fuck or be attracted to trans women, that's your prerogative. Will trans women have to mention they have a dick before sex? What? Have to? What do you mean would? Under what policy? What? Look, as a general rule, trans women are incredibly careful when it comes to their dating and sex life, unless they're doing so with other trans people, because they're terrified of inconveniencing people and being subject to violence, okay? There is no group of people on Earth who more inclined to being exceptionally careful about their sexual engagements with other people than trans people, particularly trans women, okay? Just to be perfectly clear.
The idea of being attracted to another person's self-perception seems absurd.
Oh, and you know what? Fuck you. One other thing, okay? You know what's hip and hot right now? Femboys, okay? I bet you 98% of the people who have super straight fucking Twitter icons jerk it every day to hentai dojins of fuda porn and femboys, okay? So the idea that there is some biological or phallophobic inherence here, rather than what's actually at stake here, which is them being emotionally motivated by a culture war they were told to care about by people paid by billionaires, I refuse to give this any credence, okay? If you would all just chill the fuck out, smoke a bowl, ram your head against a wall until you forgot everything you learned by watching the Daily Wire, and then go out there on Tinder, I guarantee you'd be less of a fucking asshole than you are right now. You're being forced to care about something that you probably don't even care about. I think most straight guys are honestly just attracted to femininity more than anything anyway. I mean, do you think gay guys go after, like, trans women? That shit's not happening. I mean, Contra talked about that, right? You look like Blair White. Like, oh yeah, hold on, wait, hold on. When people say they're straight or gay, they're only talking about the biological attraction to. Oh yeah, dude. That's, you know, when gay men are rubbing one off, they're like, oh, whoop, how'd that one get clipped? Yep. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gay and this is super fucking hot to me. Oh my god, that's incredible. This is totally my shit. Right here. Yeah, come on. Be real.
Incomprehensible, because it is. Now, I'm not going to go around calling myself super straight, and I don't think we should make any serious attempt to turn super straight into a thing. Simply because being regular straight, a normal old heterosexual, already means being attracted to members of the opposite sex.
Hey! He's actually honest enough. Oh, wait, that's actually super nice. I didn't even need to make that argument before. Okay, yeah. This guy's actually honest enough to just admit that it's some goofy ploy, and in reality, they don't need the term to justify their transphobia.
The exclusion of members of your same sex, even the ones who identify as members of the opposite sex. Coming up with a new term would seem to surrender this ground and concede that it's possible for a person to be straight and yet also attracted to members of his biological sex.
Oh, shit! This guy's coming at it from the opposite end. This guy's like, I don't necessarily like the super straight angle because, hey, I think it kind of implies that being regular old straight includes attraction to trans women. Guys, I don't know why there are people in chat saying this is based. He's saying that he doesn't even think straight or gay should encompass trans people.
I don't want to do that, so I'm going to stick with plain old heterosexual to describe myself. But this super straight thing is more of a troll than anything else, and as a troll, I have to admit it's pretty funny, and it makes an important point.
Huh. Maybe I'll look into this guy a little bit more often. This guy is a little bit more candid than I'm used to from other types. I feel like if this was Michael Knowles, he would probably be sucking his own cock right now, like bent forward. And if this was Ben Shapiro, it would be an 18-minute rant on pronouns. I think this is actually a par above. I'm not saying he's a good guy or anything. I'm just saying, we'll see, we'll see.
And the point is pretty simple. Two can play at that game.
Ooh.
Right? If the left can go around inventing new sexualities out of whole cloth, then anybody can. And if LGBT people can express pride in their sexual preference, then anybody can. One of the trending hashtags on Twitter right now is super straight pride. And many of the people using the hashtags are accusing those who criticize them of engaging in superphobia.
He is the most brain-dead take on wage issues. Yeah, wait, hold on. I'm not saying this guy's not a fucking idiot. Just to be perfectly clear. I'm saying that he's not putting a mask on, which means that I have to waste less time. I can assume and I can dig apart it less to get at the actual point. Yeah, not saying he's not dumb. Actually, I'm satisfied enough with this. We don't even need to go further. Vaush, what if I won't have sex with a dick or surgery vagina? Would that be considered transphobic? I don't necessarily think so, no. Here, I'll put it this way, okay? So we can get rid of all of the associative characteristics, okay? If you could find a trans woman who passed inconceivably well, I mean, in every possible respect, I mean, in every way imaginable, and the only reason that you thought that you knew they were trans is because they told you, and that's it. Apart from that, in every way, they are identical, except I suppose they can't have children, because we haven't quite invented the technology for that yet. And if you didn't want to fuck that person, because you weren't attracted to them, I would only say this: you have a right to be attracted to who you're attracted to. No, that's an inalienable right, okay? But I think you should examine why you feel that way. If they, in every social and physical respect, are completely, I don't know, as Natalie would say, bio girl, what is pulling you apart from that? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there was a trans woman in Sweden who got a womb implant a while ago, but I might be wrong. Oh, who knows? There's no such thing as a 100% passing trans person. Listen, there's no such thing as a 100% passing cis woman. Have you ever seen TERFs on Twitter accusing cisgender women of being like men in disguise because like their jawline was slightly too wide? If you scrutinize people too hard for passing, cis people. I have wide hips, always have. Back when I was skinny too, I just have wide hip bones. I bet you that if some parallel universe bullshit took place, there would be reverse TERFs looking at me and going, "Oh, you can't hide your XX chromosome hips. Your childbirthing bones betray your biological femininity." Like, if you look hard enough, you're always going to find something, because you have, you're engaging in a motivated reasoning. Anyway, at the end of the day, I just think people should be introspective about why and why not they're attracted to given things. But yeah, that's really all. Here's an example from me, okay? What's the fem name of Vaush? Vaush is already taken from the name of a female OC that I had. Is it a matter of placing genitals with the same importance as hair color, whatever? No. You can care about genitals all you want, okay? You can do that. It's fine. Also, genitals are, for most people, a pretty important part of sex, okay? Personally, I care more about what genitals a person has than I do their hair color. Now, I like pussy and dick, so I don't care with regards to gatekeeping. I just care about, like, what are we doing today? What do we got? What work we're doing? What? All right, how are we getting down on this? But, Vaush is the girl's name. Yeah, well, following my progenitor's line. Anyway, for example, I don't really like body hair that much, personally. I'm just not a big fan of body hair. Not necessarily armpit hair. I don't mind armpit hair that much. Body hair, I'm just not that big into, but it's for everyone. Men and women, cis, trans, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just not a characteristic I'm really into. Why? I don't really know, but okay, it's fine. Vaush, aren't you hairy? Well, I'm not fucking me, am I? It's just people are into what people are into. That's fine. It's okay to not be into people. But you should be introspective as to why, okay? Here, I'll throw out one more edgy example, okay? Here. No, it's not edgy. It's just controversial, okay? I knew a person in high school, okay, who really liked straight hair. Really, really, really liked straight hair. That was just a thing. They just liked, I don't know, maybe just the way she just liked the way hair was straight, you know? Now, not everyone has straight hair. Black people don't have straight hair unless they straighten it. So as a product of that, this woman, she just didn't really date black people. And I talked with her about that a couple of times, mostly making fun of her for it, you know, because she talked about it. And I said, do you think there's a possibility? I mean, a little bit of a possibility that you might have some aversion to what you consider ethnic hair. And she looked at me and she said, you know, I really genuinely have no idea. I just like straight hair. So I try not to be racist otherwise, you know? And I can never know inside of her brain. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a valid explanation. You can never know what's going on in somebody's head, but if a person, honest to God, just has a strong thing for straight hair, and then later she ended up really liking a black girl who had straight hair because she straightened her hair. So, yeah, I can never know. But do I get anything from scrutinizing her intentions on that? Probably not. Probably makes her feel weird too. Actually, your preferences in attraction are actually rooted in racism. How do you know? I don't, but they probably are. Like, okay, like we're not getting anything from this bullshit. Come on. It just makes you look like an annoying kind of thought policey piece of shit. So don't be super policey about other people's preferences. But if you got preferences, just think about it a little bit. And if the reason why you have those preferences is because of some bias, then maybe think about that too. Introspection is always important, you know? Yeah, that's the real super straight right there. That bitch was a real super straighter. Only straight hair. Just think about it, that's all. Because sometimes your biases kind of are revealing of bigotry. Now, if you're this dipshit over here, you know that it's bigotry. We don't need to. It's not an investigation with this guy. And by the way, if Steven Crowder's any indicator, this guy probably also jerks off to like trans girls behind the scenes like they all fucking do. We know what these people are like, but leaving all that aside, you know, sometimes these things really are indicative of biases. I'll give you an example, another example. I know a high school girl, okay? High school girl. She was black. I knew a black high school girl. Following so far? Very good. And she didn't like black people sexually. She wasn't attracted to black people. Actually, a fairly common thing. A lot of black guys don't like black girls. Why? Well, stop talking about high school girls, kind of cringe. The last time I talked to people was in high school, okay? I'm borrowing from a limited pool of information. But she just wasn't that attracted to black people. And, you know, I didn't talk that much with her because she was black and I'm white, so like, what am I going to do? But down the line found out, yeah, she was kind of racist a little bit. The reason why she did was because some early life experiences with black people made her a wee smidge bit biased about them. And that, you know, kind of didn't, you know, negative effect on her psyche. This does happen a lot. It's true. And she thought about it. And the more she thought about it, the better she got about it. But I think that if she hadn't been an introspective type, she probably never would have confronted those concepts. And it probably, in her mind, it would have just been, oh, I'm just not attracted to dark skin. Oh, I'm just not attracted to X or Y. We all get it? We get it? Okay, we get it.